Last week was a busy week for many tech vloggers as they were unboxing and reviewing Apple's latest M4 chip products. Among them, the new Mac Mini with a complete redesign look that might have caught the most attention. After all these years, Apple has finally made their Mac Mini about the same size as our GEEKOM Mini PCs. Here's the new M4 Mac Mini I just got. And here is our GEEKOM GT1 Mega Mini PC with Intel Core Ultra9 185H processors inside. These two devices have similar size, but wait, we actually have even smaller models. So when it comes to making a smaller PC, I think we've taken it a step further. Today, let's compare the Mac Mini and our GT1 Mega in terms of performance, ports, specs, pricing, software ecosystem, and not to declare a winner, but to inspire users with different needs. Many believe the M4 chip will crush everything, just as Apple advertises in their commercial video. But is it really the case? Let's compare the benchmark scores of the GEEKOM GT1 Mega with an Intel Core Ultra9 185H chip and the M4 Mac Mini. From all these tests, it's clear that while the M4 chip is ahead in many benchmarks, it's not a complete domination. Thanks to having 16 more CPU cores, the Ultra9 chip outperforms the M4 in multi-core tests. The M4 is certainly strong, but the Intel Core Ultra's overall performance, especially in multi-core tasks, is not behind. We also have some GEEKOM products with more powerful AMD chips, and their performance is definitely worth checking out. In addition, we also conducted a test of the SSD's read and write speeds. The Mac Mini sequential read and write speeds are 2,965 megabits per second and 2,111 megabits. Meanwhile, the GT1 Mega boasts sequential read and write speeds of 5,095 megabits and 4,387 megabits. When it comes to random read and write speeds, they provide a better representation of how a computer handles everyday tasks like operating system booting and application loadings. The Mac Mini's 4K random read and write speeds are 66 megabits per second and 36 megabits per second, whereas the GT1 Mega delivers 74 megabits and 257 megabits per second. Overall, the GT1 Mega's SSD far outperforms the Mac Minis. Well, Apple got you. Now let's compare the ports on these two devices. The Mac Mini has 5 USB-C ports with 3 on the back being Thunderbolt 4, 1 HDMI and 1 gigabit Ethernet port. The GT1 Mega has 2 USB 4 ports, 2 HDMI ports and 2 2.5 gigabit Ethernet ports and 6 USB-A ports. The Mac Mini is far less equipped in terms of ports, with the biggest difference being the complete absence of USB-A ports. Well, we understand Apple's desire to move towards all USB-C, but we also have to consider reality. Many of us still have devices that use USB-A cables. Printers, hard drives, keyboards, and audio devices like sound cards that can only connect through USB-A. While the Mac Mini's all USB-C design looks futuristic, it could actually cause unnecessary hassle for many users. USB-A is a simple solution that avoids the need for multiple hubs or dongles. We've heard people complain about power button placement on the Mac Mini. For some reason, Apple seems reluctant to expose the power button, from putting it on the back of the last gen Mac Mini to hiding it under the bottom of the new one. Can you imagine the struggle every time to try powering it on? On the other hand, the GT1 Mega has its power button conveniently located on the front panel, making it easy to turn on with one hand every time. The release of the new Mac Mini caught a lot of attention, and partly because it still starts at $59.99. No doubt $59.99 still is an attractive price, but at that price, you're only getting the base model with 16 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes SSD. Perhaps there will be people continuing to mumble confusing math topics like how max 16 gigabytes of RAM equals 32 gigabytes on Windows, but let's put that aside. The real issue is that 256 gigabytes of SSD storage is simply not enough for most users. With today's data explosion, 256 gigabytes storage minus the 40 gigabytes Mac OS takes up doesn't leave you with much space after installing a few everyday apps. When Mac OS runs low on RAM, it will use swap technology, which utilizes the SSD as virtual memory. If the SSD is too full, it will slow down the entire system. In this case, we need to consider upgrading the Mac Mini. As we all know, Apple's SSDs are expensive, so let's see if the upgraded Mac Mini is still a good deal. The GEEKOM GT1 with 32 gigabytes of RAM and 2 terabytes SSD is priced at $989, and there are often promotions that can lower that price. By the way, Black Friday and Cyber Monday are coming up, so keep an eye out for GEEKOM's deals. On the other hand, the Mac Mini with 32 gigabytes of RAM and 2 terabytes of SSD storage is priced at $1,799, which is over 80% more expensive than the GT1 Mega. Aside from performance, ports, specs, and price, the biggest difference between the Mac Mini and GT1 Mega is their software ecosystem. Windows or Mac OS. The x86 architecture of the GT1 Mega running Windows and the ARM architecture of the Mac Mini naturally create a huge gap in terms of hardware compatibility, software ecosystem, gaming, and virtualization, as well as running server systems like Linux. The Mac Mini is a great choice for office work, but if you need software that's only compatible with Windows, or if you want a mini PC for home server or virtual machine, but still want the same sleek and compact design as the Mac Mini, the GT1 Mega is one of the few choices. Windows or Mac? You can make the right choice based on your needs. Even though the GT1 Mega isn't a gaming PC built for gaming enthusiasts, it can still handle games like Fortnite, Valorant, CS2, Horizon 5 at 1080p with around 60 frames per second. It's pretty decent for casual gamers. As for gamers on the Mac Mini, well, it's an interesting topic. Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the few games natively supported on Mac OS. The Mac Mini M4 outputs about 40 megaframes per second on default settings at 1080p. But with FSR 10 balanced mode on, it boosts the game to around 60 frames per second. But that's about it. The system also heats up significantly during gaming. When we tried installing more games, we found out that the SSD storage was almost full. As I mentioned, 256 gigabytes is not enough. So that's it for today's video. We've compared these two devices in terms of performance, ports, specs, pricing, and software ecosystems. I hope this gives you some useful insights. The Mac Mini is great, but if you want a Mac Mini with Windows OS, the GEEKOM GT1 Mega Mini PC might be the answer. More information about the GEEKOM GT1 Mega can be found in the description below. And don't forget to follow our channel and stay updated on the latest GEEKOM products. See you next time.